We are now live with the NSE playoffs for the winter season. I am Not That Chrome. Joining me today is the Walking Cooper. Cooper, are you feeling prepared?
I'm feeling very ready. I feel like we're going to get to see a lot of good play today, given the team's records. And very excited to say the least.
Excellent. Well, we are going to be getting straight into it. The players should be joining up right about now. So we will be getting into our first match of the bracket. It's our quarterfinal game, Warwick versus Swansea. So playing for... We actually have a little bit of information here, Cooper. Going up for Swansea, there was a bit of confusion as Turtwig had apparently quit, but I think we are seeing the return of Turtwig in this roster. So their captain, CJ Buller, alongside Turtwig, and I believe it is Radders, and then Warwick. The roster is made up of Walden, Cochurns, and Italic. Yeah, that is all good. So we should be getting these guys in just a second, and we'll be underway. These games are, just in case you are joining us fresh, all best of sevens. Myself and Cooper will be taking you through these quarterfinals and the grand finals. Crafters and RW Dragon are running the first stream, and they will be doing the third place playoff consolation as well. So all that and more to come. But right now, Cooper, we've got some Rocket League action coming up. Warwick versus Swansea.
It's looking really good. And for the previous matches, they've managed to take 2 games each out of the 4 times they've played each other so far. So, yeah, very even. Although Warwick have taken the most recent games of those, so maybe they have the edge, but way too early to say that.
I mean, just looking off the bat, so we obviously do have Warwick in blue. Radda's going to be able to tip the loose ball away, and Swansea going to be up in the orange. Turtwig up high. So again, both these teams kind of, coming into today, just feeling each other out. This is the quarterfinals, so this is looking to move forward to the grand finals at LAN after the bracket. That is being held in Nottingham, but we do have the opening goal. Radders up in the air. I think he just caught off Warwick a little bit on the rotation. Walden went up, and no one was really there to cover the goal. So it's going to be a quick lead for Swansea in game number 1.
Yeah, nice overshot goal. Overhead, sorry. And CJ managed to bounce it really high, straight off the floor. And there just wasn't anyone in the way, so...
Well, that's going to be a nice little confidence boost, really, for Swansea coming up into game number 1. But they are going to have to do a little bit more than that. These teams have faced off previously, in Warwick, I believe, if my stat sheet is true, have done fairly well, winning 3 out of 5 of their matches against this Swansea roster.
It says on here that they've only played 4 times, which is what I was thinking. But I don't know about that
maybe
one.
my mistake, but I guess
There we
Turtwig
go.
is looking to set the record straight for Swansea regardless, coming in big off his retirement here, just with a nice little carry into the touch over the defence for a slick 2-0 lead coming in from Warwick.
It's looking easy. It looked like Warwick had the initial pressure, but 2 very early goals from Swansea here and putting them right behind to begin with.
See if we can get some gameplay volume up in here as well. There we go, a bit more
Nice
to it.
attempt there from Italic, but not quite able to put it far enough across to get it in.
I mean, again, we're seeing a good couple of chances here from Warwick. Not to do them any kind of injustice. These teams are playing at Champion 2 up to Grand Champion standard. I believe Warwick is all C2, C3. Swansea, though, putting up quite the storm. They do have, I believe, one or 2 Grand Champ players. But CJ Buller, captain, stepping up to the plate for an absolute screamer of a 102-kilometer shot. Going to be putting Swansea in a fairly happy 3-0 lead in game number 1. 2 minutes, not even gone by here, Cooper. Are we expecting kind of this much of a walkover, or are we just putting this down to first game nerves?
I think it'll be a lot more even for the next one, definitely. I think I don't know, Warwick maybe have been a bit shook, like you said, the nerves, and oh my word, that was very close. It was a beautiful shot off the top of it there, just not quite able to get it down enough. But yeah, it looks pretty commanding for Swansea so far, but they've had a good track record of Warwick, so I think there's a good chance of a very even second game.
I mean, just look at the coordination from both these teams. These are guys that have played a fair amount. Obviously, Swansea having some mix-ups. They had to kind of draft in some people, and last year Warwick, one of their players graduated, so they've had to find some new rosters. But it looks like they're kind of meshing fairly all right here, Cooper. We're seeing a lot of passing, some good kind of team coordination here.
Yeah, they seem to be very aware of each other's positioning and very in sync with each other. And I think this is it. But now that they've played for so many weeks as well, they will have just gotten better and better as time goes on. I know I found that with our team, and you know, it doesn't take much, and suddenly you know what each other goes for, what they like, what shots they like to do, what shots they don't, and you can just predict and follow a lot easier.
Well, we've seen the kind of mid-game stall now. 3-0 lead for Swansea, still coming up to game number 1. Is it going to be the be-all and end-all, the clean sweep shutdown, or are we going to see some kind of resistance mounted from Warwick? There was a 2-man commit on that one. Now Walden left alone, has to defend against the flick. A good turn away as CJ trying to get fancy with it is denied. Italic did get bumped. There's another chance, another attempt for CJ, almost gets the double. Turtwig tries to lay it just across, but Walden is going to be able to put that one off to the side and get some clearance. Now Italic launching the long one over. There's a demo as well onto CJ, but Turtwig in the back line is able to just deflect that one away in the nick of time. Turtwig again, just finding himself excellently placed for the defense here.
It's become a bit of a stalemate here. We're getting a lot of shots backwards and forwards. Very fast-paced, but none of them quite finding their mark. Good defending and rotating from both teams here. And it's just kind of stalled the game out. But for Warwick, this is definitely a bad thing, because Swansea already have that 3-0 lead, so they're in a comfortable position, and they're more than happy to play this game. And
I think that's the thing we're seeing, right? It's both teams have kind of slightly warmed up to each other now, but obviously Swansea put up that quick 3-0 lead. And looking to add another one to it. Turtwig off the pass from Raders there. Excellent assist. Walden knocked it down. Raders sent it high off the backboard. CJ tried to get a word in edgeways, but knows when to leave it for his teammates. A little bit of a helping hand from Walden in the net. But 4-0 for Swansea in game number 1 here. They are looking to put a quick shutdown to this. Obviously trying to take the best of 7 in as little as they can. Could see this go all the way to 7 games. Entirely possible. But if Swansea don't take their foot off the gas, well, that's what happens.
Oh, yeah. Well, it looks like he just found himself in the bad position. Coach Hearn's trying to backflip and take it out, but just coming too far out from the wall and turning it the wrong way instead. I think Swansea are looking quite commanding at the moment, and in the last matchup these two teams faced, it looks like Warwick managed to take a 3-1 victory over them. But then again, we've heard about Turtwig being on and off, so if he wasn't there, maybe they didn't quite have their full team.
I mean, that could be the deciding factor. There's Turtwig, the man, the myth, almost making himself a legend with that last goal. But it's going to be a 5-0 in game number 1 here for Swansea, taking it fairly convincingly, as Warwick look like they're yet to warm up, really.
Yeah, it was nicely done, but Swansea were obviously in command for the majority of that game, just not really giving any pressure away whatsoever.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Is Swansea were just kind of straight off the bat, very, very dominant, looking to shut down as much as they can, as early as they possibly can. So it is now all up to Warwick to play catch up. I mean, they haven't had the best of seasons. Their record against the top 6. Sorry, looking at the wrong team there. Excuse me. Although it does ring true, Warwick not had a particularly strong season. Lost to pretty much all of the top 6. Only winning against Swansea out of that list. So their current rivals, Walden, with a good little drop down to shut down the early attempt from CJ. Raders looking to put something on net, but here's the passing play. Walden sets up, gets the demo though, and the clear from Turtwig. I think, Cooper, Turtwig could be the glue for this Swansea team here.
He seems to be in the middle of a lot of plays. Never really taking the finals himself, but setting up a lot of stuff. Constant passes in, constant good little outs on defense, and I definitely feel like if he was the missing factor the last time these two teams faced, then it could very well go entirely the other way for Swansea.
And that's the thing, right? Is obviously if you're not playing with your full roster, if you're playing with a sub or someone perhaps you're not so used to, now you've got your main guy back. This could be a very dominant performance from Swansea if we don't see a response from Warwick pretty quick.
And it looked like, unfortunately, there, CJ Buller managed to save a shot from his own team. He was just coming down off the aerial and unable to get out of the way. Landed behind the ball. Very unfortunate.
And that is a beautiful little back pass.
0 game score currently.
Game 2, obviously not the be-all and end-all. Still got a fair way to go. Walden looking to make waves on the defense. Turtwig just holding it in the corner. Italic, we have seen a nice pass or two from Italic, so I'm wondering if they can get some more teammates. CJ taking that dangerously close to the net, but obviously entirely aware. Raders with the good turn away off the potential own goal from Turtwig and a good clear as well. We're starting to see these teams warm up a lot more here, Cooper. This is very much them kind of. They've got the jitters out. The first game wasn't great for Warwick, but now they're looking to mount the comeback.
They seem to be holding it down well, and a lot of this play for the last minute or so has been inside the Swansea half. They've been keeping them locked down quite well, getting a lot of plays to each other and keeping it in and out, but not quite able to find anything so far.
Both teams kind of looking for the hold. I mean, just taking a look at our scoreboard here, only 2 successful shots from each team, although there have been more opportunities than that. It's just looking to make that conversion, as we are yet to see the final execution on any particular play.
It's getting pretty tense here. We've gone past half-time now, and still no goals scored. Those teams are keeping solid defense together, and
it really up in the air.
Feels like Warwick have possibly got the edge in pressure here.
It does feel like it's been a much more blue game this time around. Swansea were kind of walking all over them last time. There's the great flick from Raders, though. The control on the Octane there off this. Look at this. A beautiful setup. Italic not going to challenge, going for the boost. And the curve Raders is able to achieve with the flick is going to put Swansea into the lead. That is, I mean, it has to be said, Cooper. If you're going to put the first goal on the board, that's the way you want to do it. Demoralise the defense.
Absolutely. Right in front of their faces, a series of beautifully executed touches. It just completely shuts them down. And it looks like CJ almost got another one there, but not quite able to find it as the defenders put it slightly too far across for him.
Here's the counter-attack, but Raders immediately to shut it down. I mean, the speed at which Swansea are looking to reply to a lot of these chances is really starting to give them the edge. We saw they were kind of flagging a bit. The pressure was more blue than it was orange. But now Warwick have kind of they've been rustled a little bit, I think it's fair to say. That play from Raders going to have thrown them, but here's Koch Hearns looking to make waves, can't quite find it. Ball dangerously low in front of the net, but CJ for the big clear out to the middle.
It's another nice attempt, but they can't, again, they're not finding the critical opportunity. It seems like Swansea have been able to punish pretty much every mistake Warwick have made here, and Warwick just haven't been able to do the same so far.
I mean, even then with Koch Hearns on the double 50-50, just stalling out as long as possible, he didn't really have any teammates to back it up. He drew 2 members of the defense and wasn't really able to win anything for it apart from an empty boost tank. There's an unfortunate pinch going in favour of Swansea. A double demolition as Koch Hearns and Raders take themselves out of the game momentarily. Turtwig gives Italic a rather favourable pinch, but now Walden forced to back up. There's an open ball into the blue box. It is going to get tapped away by Italic, although Turtwig, again, Swansea are just so fast here, Cooper. They're ready to meet pretty much any threat as early as they possibly can.
They're very active, and they just seem to be able to respond to pretty much anything and everything Warwick has thrown together so far. And it just seems like Warwick aren't able to get any sort of gaps in their defense.
Now Raders with the 50. Turtwig coming in to save the day. 10 seconds left. Time has just run away here from Warwick. Raders bullying that one through. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to get a finish, but more importantly, it doesn't look like Warwick are going to be able to find the counter, and Swansea taking it 2-0 in the series here. As Warwick actually yet to put a goal on the scoreboard. First game going 5-0 in favour of Swansea, and this one 0-1. So Cooper, I mean, this is not looking so hot for them right now.
Well, Warwick definitely put up a much better fight there, but Swansea have been all over them the entire time, and they've known they've known almost telepathically what they're going for. They've managed to stop them at pretty much every turn, and even though it was a lot closer than last time, you've still got a lot of saves on the side of Swansea. They've just had a solid defense the entire time, making it nearly impossible for Warwick to make any chances happen. So,
well, I mean, we can only see what's going to happen from here. Swansea have got 2 of the games they need in this best of 7. They are looking pretty set to take this one in a convincing fashion right here, if Warwick can't find something big and find it fast. Swansea only needing another 2. They're already halfway to the end game. Moving on, they would be taking on Lancaster in the semi-finals. The winner of this game will be taking on Lancaster, but there is still a chance for Warwick to clinch the victory. All remains to be seen as we head into game number 3 here.
Well, it looks like a bit of early pressure here from Warwick. Anyway, trying to make an attempt to get one on very early, and looks like Italic might have a chance here. He's trying to get around CJ, but not able to put it down and in front.
I think he was going for the fake play, but wasn't really quite able to make it stick. Turtwig, no boost challenge, is going to win it out fairly happily there. Walden coming into the corner. Turtwig foregoing the boost in favour of the ball. Excellent play, and it is going to send them the goal. CJ.
It looks currently like we got a player DC'd in that.
Oh, it is within the first minute, so we will allow a redo.
And it was, and he did call it quite a bit before the goal anyway, so.
That is fair. Right, we will just do a quick restart, guys. So, score is currently 2-0 to Swansea in the series. We're just going to redo the lobby real quick. As we check everything.
A bit of issue there, but it looked like Italic had just stopped. May have had a bit of a cutout on that one.
Alright, looks like we will be having them back. So, within the rules, guys, if a team does have a DC in the first minute or before the first goal, they can have a call for a reset. And that was, as Cooper pointed out, a call before the goal was made. So we will be remaking Warwick versus Swansea. If you're joining us, Swansea currently 2-0 lead in this best of 7 series. As we wait for everyone to join the match. Just waiting on one more as we
okay, we're gonna have to go again.
Well, remake. Sorry about this, guys. We will be getting underway as soon as we can. Just some
technical issues.
Yeah, always. Technical issues. Not that one. We want private match. There we go.
Well, we got to see a lot of Swansea's offense in the first match, but something that was maybe shadowed out in the first match, which really did stand out in the second match, was how good they were on defending. They were getting around the rotation solidly and keeping everything out. And, you know, and they were like that in the first game as well. It's just there was a lot of goals and maybe harder to see. Pretty a very hard wall for Warwick to get past. So.
I think that's the thing. We kind of saw Swansea take a bit of a battering in game 2. They were pushed a lot, but now they've kind of risen to the challenge. They're not just confined by the defense. They are kind of getting up and above, as we did see CJ pull off with that last goal right before the remake. So we do have, I believe, a 5-minute disconnect rule, which does lead to a disqualification if a player has gone for more than 5 minutes, which CJ is just mentioning. Looks like we managed to get everyone back, so we should be okay. No 5-minute disconnect. Game number 3. Talik still... Okay, he should be stable. Here we go. Sorry about the slight technical difficulties, ladies and gents. We're getting into game number 3. Swansea versus Warwick of the NSE winter season. And CJ kicked off with fantastic fashion in the first version of this. Now in the third remake, he is the first to put a goal on the board. No hesitation. Bangs it bottom corner. And Swansea...
There's a bit of a scuffle in the middle, and Italic was trying to get it over to the other side, but CJ far enough back that he could come in at his own pace and just put it at a perfect angle with no chance for the defenders to get it. So.
I mean, even then, what we're seeing from Swansea now is the disruption play. Turtwig didn't have a great hit on it, but it was enough to disrupt the passing from, I believe it was Italic. Great flip over the top. Isn't going to be able to get a demo on the goalie, but it's just this kind of complete breakdown of the Warwick play that is lending Swansea these chances.
It's a very nice attempt there again. Rada's getting a good ceiling pass off the corner there, but thankfully that one was stopped by Coach Hearns, not quite able to finish it up. But still, amazing pressure and great coordination from Swansea.
I mean, look at that, the save from Turtle, even just kind of the solo plays where he's picking it up off an incoming attacker. You can start to see where the rank disparity might obviously play in Swansea's favour. They now have their, I believe Turtwig was their Grand Champ back. No, sorry, Champion 3. Radas is their champ.
But yes. Even so, they work well together regardless of individual skill, and they just make solid plays and rotations. So even if the team wasn't as highly ranked as they were, with this level of coordination, it wouldn't matter too much.
And look at that, we're still seeing them lay in chances for each other. Turtwig with the easy pass off to CJ there. I mean, Coach Hearns trying to push it out. Turtwig just rolls it straight back middle, and immediately the follow-up there from CJ. Interesting to note, Cooper, Warwick yet to put a goal on the board here. We are still scoreless into game number 3.
Yeah, this is what I've been saying. Even with the flashy and well-timed offense from Swansea, their defense can't be overlooked at all. They've kept everything away from there. Every chance has been perfectly cleared, put away, and sent back the other way. And Warwick just haven't been able to beat it so far. And I haven't seen a single error on the side of Swansea so far. So absolutely impeccable play.
Yeah, I mean, even the really minor things like they had maybe one double commit is all I can think of, and that's at a push. So, like you said, Cooper, just a testament to how well Swansea are playing. That's an unfortunate touch from CJ, but Rada's coming in clutch to kick that one out to the side of Turtle just to move it on up the field. I mean, the whole coordination from this squad is just looking phenomenal right now. It has to be said.
It's like Rada's might have another chance here, putting it up and into the middle for his team, but both of his members had already gone back. He's going to get another touch here to send it into the corner and away from his net.
Demo again disrupting the Warwick offense into an immediate return down the other end of the field. So the speed at which Swansea has these transitions is really quite impressive. Something you do see a lot, especially kind of in the EU scene, is the speed at which teams can go up and down the field and kind of momentarily switch from offense to defense. And I'm really impressed actually at how well Swansea is working. Here's the chance, Italic sends it high. The follow-up is there from Coach Hearns. Walden to put the first goal up for Warwick. Finally they're there in game 3 as a 3-man offense works so well. 2 off the backboard and Walden to drop it in over the double commit. Warwick have scored, ladies and gentlemen.
Finally managed to break the Swansea defense, and maybe this is all they need. Maybe that little bit of confidence will send them a lot further into the game here. And it does.
There it is.
Beautiful equaliser from Italic. Coming straight off the backboard from Walton and putting it sideways above 2 defenders. Bit of a double commit there maybe from Swansea.
Swansea look like they're kind of going to pieces a little bit there, Cooper. We just kind of had 2 defenders who didn't really know what was up, what was down. Could this be the chance for Warwick? Look at that, the fake play from Walden to Italic. That's looking much more like the Warwick that we've seen take on Swansea quite successfully.
They're looking a lot more solid this time around anyway, and this could be another chance for Coach Hearns here. Not quite able to get through Radas.
Bit of a double commit, we're seeing Turtle kind of Turtwig, my apologies, even just kind of missing clears now. This is Swansea really on the back foot. I think they were a lot more spooked than they let on by those quick 2 goals to equalise, and that's not even you know, that wasn't just one goal. Oh, we're still winning. They've equalised now, and Warwick are looking poised to actually give them a run for their money here in Game 3.
Yeah, well, Swansea have had pretty much complete control overall so far, and you know, the sudden break here from Warwick, hard push in, just is enough to shake any decent team, it has to be said.
I mean, we could even be looking at an overtime. Italic gets the save off. Oh, they need to get a clearance on this. They do. Walden off to the side. That's good pressure from him. See here, looking to move it straight back middle. Coach hands up on the side. Radders to try and drop it down. Beautiful strong clear from Walden now. Italic off to the side, bouncing it in for the third man, the trailer. Walden drops it low. Here's the chance. Coach Hearns isn't able to make it stick. CJ with the big clear. Italic with the hold. Now, last 5 seconds before we hit overtime. This is the chance for Swansea. Ball has not touched down yet. Still in the blue half, in the danger zone, but the team bump.
Well, a little double commit cost them their chance at getting a buzzer beater there for sure.
It's just that unfortunate team bump. That was quite possibly Swansea winning that game without the need for an overtime. But here we are, first overtime of the day. And again, it is Swansea on the offense. Turtwig finds the open goal. 15 seconds. The rotation. Swansea starting to pull back now as they take Game 3 in a 3-2 lead.
It's a nice shot there from Turtwig, and unfortunately, there was just the defenders were not in the correct position to get to it. But I think Warwick could definitely shaken them up, and I'm going to be a little more cautious in the next one, I feel, and Warwick may be able to take advantage of that.
Well, that was almost the upset there. Warwick almost managing to really kind of throw Swansea out there, but Swansea kind of regained their composure right at the last second. 3-0 up in the series, looking to shut this one out in a 4-0 sweep, as Coach Hearns is going to say no to that and puts the first goal in for Warwick. Warwick 3 goals now in the series compared to the 8 of Swansea thus far.
It's a great touch there from Coach Hearns, managing to take it past the defenders, and you know, you're sitting there on match point, but that hasn't faced him at all. He's gone in solid, strong, and started the game, putting his team in the lead.
Exactly. That's the important thing here, Cooper, is, you know, you are on match point. You are kind of facing a knockout, but the mental game is still coming in strong from Warwick. They are not letting themselves get two-phased. Still scoring those early goals. And look, this pressure, this fortitude is great. Italic to try and carry it over. Drops it into Walden. Walden just posts it.
Unable to get it in.
Oh, Coach Hearns with the clean-up. Beautiful.
Really, really like the pass there from Italic. Perfectly timed and over the defenders, but unfortunately Walden put himself in just the wrong place to catch it. But they still managed to make it anyway.
Even CJ calling out the great pass there. He can respect that. Really good start, actually, for Warwick in this game number 4. They're facing match point and they're 2-0 up within the first 40 seconds. But CJ with the quick reply, maybe I spoke too soon. Trying to put Swansea back on the board. Give them that commanding lead. As Rada sends on right across the net. Italic just caught out ever so slightly. And CJ, perfect placement to dodge the defense.
I think both Walden and Italic on the wrong side of the goal there. They just weren't quite able to coordinate and spread themselves out a bit more. Maybe they should have.
Oh, that's a beautiful touch over the top from Walden and Coach Hearns. Goodness me, we're starting to see some big individual plays from Walden rocking the Batmobile. Look at this, just picks it up, dusts it over the top, and Coach Hearns, well before CJ, to put the 2-goal lead back in place for Warwick. Warwick have had a huge turnaround this game.
Rin responding beautifully to every challenge from Swansea, and even the mistake in the goal from CJ there, they just turned it around and went, we're not going to stand for that, and took it straight back again, keeping themselves in that comfortable position. But we've only got a minute gone with 4 goals already in this match.
Wow, this is quite the pace change. Italic getting the demo as well. What is happening to Swansea? Coach Hearns, has he just got himself a... He's got 4 goals in this game for 4 shots. 100% shooting accuracy this game. This is I have never seen anything like this, Cooper. This is just such a reversal from the first three. Swansea were fairly, you know, dominant in the first game, convincing in the second, just about scraped it in the third, and now they are being pushed to their limits, really. They're 4-1 within a minute and 30 seconds odd.
Feels like Warwick have gotten more and more into this as it's been going on. Maybe they're the slow starter type, and this is all they needed to get going. They've had their close call, but when it counts, they're able to perform, as we've been seeing here.
This is the breakaway attempt. Rada's trying to hook this one on. Net just goes over. Turtwig trying to loop it middle, but CJ wisely keeping his distance. Knows he's not really going to be able to get a favourable touch on that. Metallic up in the air, off the backboard, drops to Coach. Coach not going to be able to pick that one up. Now Rada's immediately on the counter-attack. 2v2 on defense. Walden and Coach Hearns both going for it, but a great pinch from Metallic, sending it all the way over. Beautiful Cuxive pinch, as a matter of fact. We're starting to see the individual plays creep in a little bit more, and I'm a fan, Cooper. We're starting to see some fairly nice technical work here.
Yeah, well, we've seen a lot of good centres from Walden and Metallic. They've been creating decent chances. I think Coach Hearns has just been one of those players who puts himself in the right place every single time. Been cleaning up, putting himself in the perfect place for the pass, and you know, this is why he's sitting there on 4 goals, and his team is absolutely crushing it.
I mean, that's the thing. It's not just a kind of good form, it's return from what was so shaky. Good clear by the post. I'm not sure how much of a hand Italic had in that one, but it doesn't matter. They're still on the offense. Warwick are looking relentless now. What a beautiful passing play. The 1-2, perfect setup. And there's Italic for the third man. Didn't quite find himself in time. Turtwig forced to clear that one away. CJ has to hit it middle. I think Swansea are struggling with boost management now.
It seems to be being bullied a little more maybe by the Warwick team here. Keeping it in their half, and a lot of relentless and very scary plays for the Swansea side.
There's the back pass from CJ up to Radas, but Radas going to send that one well wide of the net. Tries to hook it back. Isn't really going to find the angle. Turtwig forced to roll for that. Not a great 50, although a little bit of confusion. Oh my goodness, Walden though. I'm not sure if we are having any desyncs here on the server.
Getting a little bit of server issue here.
Yeah.
Not great for the players.
Okay, well we have got this far, so we will play it out. Server issues have only cropped up in the last odd.
Very briefly there,
Yeah.
and it seems they've gone again already. But that's a beautiful pinch off the wall from Walden, sending it all the way over the top and into the centre of Swansea's net.
We could potentially see a Brazil here, Cooper. We've got 55 left on the clock. That 7-1 is looking promising, and what a return that would be for Warwick after being pretty much bullied out of it in the first 3 games. They're on match point now, and they come back like this. I mean, that is some real courage they've got going on here.
Well, it looks, well, Warwick were 7 goals behind at the start of this, and you know they only now need 3 more, and they could even up the score in terms of raw goals straight away, because this is looking very promising for them.
Well, this is a change for the books. Certainly, Swansea almost had the chance. They didn't quite have the follow. Every single one. Radas can't turn on it in time. I don't think he has any boost. And that is a problem. Turtwig looking for the looping shot. It is going to be a shutout in game number 3. Radas just going to let that one drop. Can they get a final goal in? Nah, doesn't look like it. Warwick, though, to start the reverse as they go 1 for 3. 5-1 in game number 3. We are going to do a quick server restart just to check.
It's really well done there from Warwick, and it looks like finally managed to find their way through the Swansea defence last game. And while Swansea did manage to hold on to it, I think it really shook them up, and the effects could be definitely seen in the next match as Warwick commandingly defeated them for that game.
I mean, that was That was quite the turnaround. I mean, we've said it a fair amount, but man, to kind of go from Swansea really putting the stranglehold on Warwick to Warwick just being completely able to break free from it and pretty much go wild in that last game, but that was big. So if they can continue this momentum, we might see the full sweep.
Indeed, it would be one of my favourite things. Is always a reverse sweep, and Warwick are looking in great form right now, and I would not be surprised. And it's another shot there, but Radders is still sitting in goal, unable to get that one away.
We are seeing a much more cautious Swansea now, I think. It's fair to say. They aren't really going for the bold, the brash plays they were before. They're much more reserved in how they're approaching this game.
Feel like maybe after the first game, and even the second game to an extent, they were possibly underestimating the Warwick side. And, you know, they were playing quite hard and fast, and it suddenly went against them. And there we go.
I mean, you would expect that in EU bubble teams, that level of passing, play and coordination. Look at this. Walden just booms it over. Italic with the perfect read to send that one absolutely flying into the Swansea net. Warwick are looking monstrously scary right now.
It's a perfect little play, and, you know, Italic is able to get a great shot, putting it into the corner, the furthest possible distance away from the defender with no chance of saving it.
Oh, coach can't quite turn on it as the ball hovers in the orange box. CJ is going to get a fairly good pinch clear. Now Walden looks to move it out. Is there a follow-up from Swansea? There is. Turtwig up early to get the block off. Good defense there, good read. Now the 1-2 from CJ to Turtwig. Back out. CJ drops it middle. Radders is able to get to it, but Talik with the 50-50 block. Well, that's a beautiful little back touch from Radders, but Turtwig, again, Swansea, I think, struggling more so than Warwick, perhaps, with their boost management. It does seem like Warwick is going for a lot of fairly cheeky steals on those big boost pads, and Swansea is hurting as a result. None of them have anything to do. They're just
I think what you were saying,
incapable.
what you were saying there just came full circle straight away. None of them have really the speed or boost to get back. CJ coming from the other angle might have been there, but without any boost, he's definitely not getting it. Warwick have been probably quite aggressive, and this may be something they've decided themselves to actively go for a boost shot out here, but they've just been taking control in a big way.
Talik actually does get taken down out of the air. Radders now has the chance to put the shot in. No, he's going to try and get the pass to CJ, but CJ already made the call to retreat. Although now Swansea do have a bit more boost. Walden's still going to get the no boost pass past Turtwig. And we were saying earlier that maybe Turtwig was the star player. That's why Warwick won last time. But actually now I can start to see the reasons, Cooper, that, well, Swansea might not have been all that dominant.
Yeah, maybe so. It did look slightly close in the last one. The last time these teams met, Swansea did manage to get one game off them, but Warwick are absolutely dominating at the moment, and if this is how they played previously, it's not hard to see why.
I mean, even with Turtwig, you're kind of thinking, well, maybe Swansea peaked too soon. Did they give everything they had in that first 3 games, and now that Warwick has kind of come out with a counter plan, a response, maybe the boost stealing tactic, is that all Swansea have got in the tank? It remains to be seen, but halfway has passed here in game number 4. No, game number 5, excuse me. As Warwick are looking to put a pretty effective shutdown on this Swansea scoreboard.
It's just been great play from Warwick overall, and good coordination. The sort of perfect coordination we were seeing of Swansea for the first couple of games now seems to be going the complete other way. Swansea seems to be making more and more mistakes, while Warwick are getting perfect coordination.
We kind of said of Swansea, there were very few mistakes they made in those first couple of games. Only maybe 1 or 2 double commits, but now we're starting to see them much more liable to kind of make those mistakes. They're double committing, perhaps stealing the ball off each other when they weren't quite meaning to. And there's the pass out already to coach. Turtwig has to knock it up high. This could be the chance. CJ trying to get back in the game, and he does. Unfortunate backflip from Walden as Turtwig knocks that one high. CJ coming over the top. Maybe didn't quite have as much power as he would have liked, but Walden, an unfortunate kind of control error there led to the backflip instead of the save. 1 minute 17, still an entirely possible win for Swansea here.
It was a very fast shot from CJ there, and I think he may have been in with a chance, but even so, it was very close to the mark. So he had to try, and unfortunately, just wasn't quite able.
Well, CJ not quite getting the touch, and Coach getting the clear out up to Walden. Doesn't get the follow-up for the goal attempt, though. Turtwig with the own goal. That is perhaps a Welsh tactic we haven't quite seen yet. Walden just kind of let this one fly. Radders, and then Turtwig just unable really to control himself. I think he was coming back off the rotation.
It looked like he was trying to get a decent touch with his tyres there and send it soft towards his goalie, but unfortunately it just too hard and
yeah, clip the side.
It's a nice little pop-up from Turtwig and managed to get it out because of it. Looks like Swansea may have another chance here though.
The problem is kind of CJ's lurking a little bit too far up the field. His teammates need him a bit further back. He's trying to get those reads up early, but they seem to be struggling a little bit. As it is 20 seconds left on the clock. There's the pass from CJ to Turtwig, up to CJ again. CJ doesn't really have the boost to contend. Has the shot attempt, just sends it just shy of the woodwork. There it is, but Walden again. Warwick have come back swinging, it has to be said, Cooper. They are really changing the way this game is shaping up. This series, as they take game number 5, put them 2-3 in this best of 7.
They've done really well in this one, and it's great to see how dominant they've been able to be, despite the fact Swansea have shown how good they were originally. And they were very, very much on top in the first few games. But as I said, these teams are all of very high quality and really enjoying watching this series. And we could see it go very close to the mark here.
Just waiting for Walden to hit that ready up, but this could. I'm actually convinced this could go all the way. At the start, we saw those. I don't know. I want to say shaky performances from Warwick, but now they've kind of tidied that up. Swansea was looking to shut them out, but actually, kind of quite literally, the reverse has happened. I mean, what can you say? Warwick have come back fighting. They are bringing the storm to Swansea. Looking for that reverse sweep in this best of 7.
Oh my word, it's a very good initial challenge there from Walden. Thankfully Radders is in the right place to get it, but straight off the kickoff with a very powerful shot, keeping the pressure on them immediately.
Turtwig getting the good clear out. Is blocked at the side by Coach. Radders to follow the third man in this offense, and that's the thing, just those kind of missed connections here from Swansea, Cooper, that we're seeing more and more is kind of what's leading to their breakdown a little bit. Coach to try and get the pinch shot off the floor isn't quite going to work out his way. CJ going to be able to get the save. Pops up off the backboard, Radders to clear it away. Good defense still from Swansea, despite all this. On the slower plays from Warwick, they are able to shut down some of these passes, get in the way, intercept.
They've been doing really well despite the enormous stress they now must be under. They've suddenly seen a very dominant team, a very different team from the start of the game come out against them, and they've got to be worrying a lot more at this moment in time.
CJ looking to drop it in, but Walden, I mean, has been a pretty solid brick wall actually since those early games. He's very much shaped up in the defense. And look again, just the clear, really high off the backboard. Italic with the demo to shut CJ out of that offense. I mean, that's the kind of disruption play. Oh, and what a beautiful read, even off the shot from Radders. Turtwig throwing interference with the fake. Italic still way up in front of it to read it.
Just nicely done, and he's a very solid player on defense, I think we've seen. He's been able to get to the right place multiple times. And Swansea are definitely giving it more attempts maybe than the previous game, but even so, they're being shut down pretty much every time here.
And this is the thing, this is very edge of the pants stuff right now, because although Warwick have put on a phenomenal performance, they're still match point to Swansea. If Swansea just gets one goal in and Warwick can't find a reply, that's it. All of their toil will have effectively been for nothing. So Warwick have to be really careful with how they approach this and take their best shot. And unfortunately for them, Raders is going to be able to sneak one in over the top, just as we were talking about it. Raders pops it up. Italic tried to get a little bit of a touch, but Walden a little bit too low. The very flat Batmobile doesn't quite have the height hitbox for that one, unfortunately. And Swansea look poised to take the series. CJ over the top trying to put another one in. He does send it off the board. That was an interesting choice, given that Walden was rushing back from grabbing boost, but perhaps a tactical one.
Indeed. They've been... they've done really well here. I think Swansea needed this change of pace, needed to take control of the game for once, because they've been shut out pretty effectively by Warwick up until this point for the last couple of games. And I think that goal is definitely a step in the right direction.
There's Italic. I mean, just the aerial confidence we're seeing from Warwick more so than Swansea now. There's the Cookseer pinch from Walden. Someone in the chat saying Walden the second coming of Cookseer. I mean, we've seen some pretty big plays from this man on the Batmobile, so maybe that's not so far from the truth.
He's been able to get a lot of those really well, and there were a couple of opportunities where it could have made a huge difference, but Swansea were in the right place. It's quite scary to deal with. A player who can do those consistently is going to be a massive threat, especially if he gets anywhere near your box. So,
well, time is ticking away now for Warwick. They do have to strike, and strike pretty quick. CJ able to get the tip over one. Walden now looking to scoop it up and over, but Raders to shut down that particular offense. Immediately there on the counter offense, just sent it a little bit wide open. Walden looking to scoop it up, and he does fairly successfully. Beautiful touch from Coach, but CJ to intercept already. Coach laying that one pretty central for any Swansea players that wanted it. The double commit perhaps costing them the goal there, as Raders and Turtwig both up for it. Turtwig not quite jiving as well as he was in the first couple of games, feeling a little bit out of place from time to time. But Swansea nonetheless still have the lead. 30 seconds left on the clock now.
and this really is clutch time. If they're going to do
no! Has Coach just sealed the fate of Warwick with an unfortunate own goal? Turtwig, just as we say he was struggling here, sent this one so high. Coach. Oh, goodness. That's got to sting if you're a Warwick fan.
Very unfortunate. It's returning the favour that Turtwig did them earlier, but just at the wrong time.
Oh, that is
If there's any
heartbreaking.
time not to do it, it is right now. And that may spell the end for Warwick.
Oh, Warwick have got to be feeling really demoralised right now. They have 10 seconds to try and find 2 goals out of quite literally nowhere. It's ticking down. The fans have come out in support, but unfortunately for them, this time, Warwick wasn't able to make it happen. Swansea take the series in a fairly well contested 4-2.
There's a very, very nice shot there at the end by Walden. Almost managing to get a bit of a consolation goal maybe, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day because Swansea have managed to take it, and very unfortunate that Coach managed to hit that one the wrong way.
Indeed. Well, calls for a best of 9. Perhaps not, but Warwick are going to be falling to Swansea. So our bracket, for those of you playing along at home, currently looking like Lancaster versus Swansea Storm coming up next as our next semi-final. That will be beginning, we hope, at 8:15. So we're going to take a short break, guys. Don't go anywhere. Grab a beverage. So sit back, relax, and we will rejoin you very shortly. Well, hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have got the semi-finals of the NSE Winter Split here. I am Not That Chrome, joined, of course, by the Walking Cooper. Now, Cooper, we have just seen Warwick take on Swansea, and unfortunately, unfortunately for Warwick, they weren't quite able to make it. Swansea were the better of the two sides, but now we have Lancaster versus Swansea Storm. Now, roster fairly similar for Swansea. Going to be the same for boys. Same three. Sorry. Whereas we are going to be seeing Lancaster with Tylacto, DMAC, and Ryan. So we are expecting big things. Obviously, the name will be familiar to some of you guys. Tylacto in the RLRS with Team Secret. So, expecting some big things from this Lancaster side.
It's very interesting, actually, because Lancaster have been pretty dominant throughout the NSE weekly plays, but Swansea are one of the few teams to have managed to beat them so far. So, you never know what we'll see. In fact, the only two out of the top 6 teams, the only two that Swansea have actually managed to beat have been both Warwick and Lancaster here, so...
Well, I mean, as we saw in that last series, quite literally anything can happen over this best of 7 time. So rocking at that alpha boost, just because, why not? But both teams kind of off to a fairly similar start. Swansea, we did see in the last series, were kind of the quick out of the gates, and then had a little bit of trouble towards the end of the series. But right now, we're not seeing any team edge away, in particular in the first minute or so. We're seeing a chance here for Lancaster, just as I say it. DMAC coming in off the wall, and Tylacto perfectly positioned. The demo, I believe, as well from Orion. Beautiful 3-man work to get them all the way into the first goal of the game.
Very well coordinated. They're all working on that one together, and the only possible threat left was taken by Orion. So Tylacto, the man himself, could put it in. Very well done. Looks like they're going to get the pressure immediately here again. Well, this time Turtwig managing to take DMAC.
I mean, that's actually a thing we did see. Oh, Radders with a cheeky little goal in the work-in. What I was just going to say is both teams, in the last match we had Swansea Warwick, very open to using demos, and it looks like we're going to see the same thing. Very physical play style, but Radders just able to slip that one in past the goalie. Fairly cheeky off the corner, but going to be tying up the game. Can Lancaster find a quick response, or is it going to be a more drawn-out series? Turtwig off the back to deny Orion the chance. Orion seems to be going hard with the demos. He's got 2 demos so far, 2 for 0. No one's got him back.
The other thing is here, I feel like Swansea may have a bit of an edge, purely because they've been able to warm up, and even though it was shaky in the middle of their match, they were very dominant at the start and managed to pull that form back at the end. So they are running hot at the moment, and that may be a great advantage for them.
Although we are seeing a couple little double commits just sneaking in. Tylacto with a great ball out to Orion. Orion just pushing it up the back, and Tylacto again already there with DMAC just kind of running interference back line. Ball off the backboard, no real follow-up for the boys in blue. There's the chance. DMAC finds it though. A slightly sloppy clear from Swansea. Turtwig went up for this one, just didn't quite have the power he wanted. Got an unfortunate rear touch, and DMAC over the top of CJ to score the second goal for Lancaster.
Seems like that's the first big mistake that Swansea have managed to make, and Lancaster on it straight away. Complete punishment.
I mean, and actually that's what we're seeing. Lancaster do mention it in their team bio. They say obviously Tylacto is an RLRS player, my mistake. But Orion and DMAC are equally happy to take their portion of the work, although Tylacto, as of yet, putting on a fairly dominant performance. We have seen the passing plays, the setups, the assists from the other two. This is a 3-man squad we're talking about here, Cooper. This is not a 1-man carry.
Yeah, definitely. They've been working really well together, and obviously a great pass across the middle to Tylacto, and he was just able to redirect it perfectly. Pretty simple, and yet perfectly placed and effective shot.
Now it's up to Swansea to really find a concrete reply. DMAC off to Tylacto. Great communication from these guys. You can tell that actually they have been, even though they say their practice has been a bit limited because of Tylacto's requirements as a pro, you can tell that they're functioning, they're clicking as a unit, and that's what's really kind of good to see from Lancaster. Swansea kind of had it earlier on, then they lost it, then they regained it a little bit. So they've been a little bit inconsistent with how well they can function as a unit.
Indeed, and it's just great to see the perfect and well coordinated team plays here from the Lancaster side. They're obviously, they do have a star player, and there he goes again.
But even still, I mean, we're not seeing Tylacto pull off some huge kind of very squishy muffins-esque air dribbles. We're just seeing Orion, DMAX set him up time and time again, and they know that's the strength of their team. They can play, you know, both as individuals and a group. They know where their strength lies. If Tylacto is going to be able to finish those shots, then why not set him up? And that's what's great to see. They're utilising their strengths and covering for each other's weaknesses.
They're just able to put it in the right place, and they know if they put it in a good position with enough space, Tylacto will get it in. So it's an easy option, and it doesn't have to be fancy, but when it's well coordinated, it's basically unstoppable.
There he goes again off the wall. Radaz out to CJ. CJ a little bit more stall on that than he would have liked. Orion not quite getting the middle touch again, but Tylacto to challenge. DMAC for the follow. Isn't quite going to get the touch. Radaz going to be able to bounce that one out, but only a minute left in game one, and already a convincing 4-1, 4-2 now. I mean, it seems it's just as if I say it. They can
Bit of a
hear me
steal
and wake
there
up.
from CJ. Looked like that was going to be going in regardless. Orion not quite able to get the touch, but CJ just slipping in underneath to take that away from Radaz.
Got to pad those stats, man.
Always, always. But it's not been a complete shutout. Swansea have been able to reply pretty well, and both teams looking very offensive, it has to be said. And while there has been some solid defense, it's mostly been about the offense this time. Quickly going around and taking shot after shot.
That's a great ball out from Orion. Unfortunately, DMAC isn't quite going to be able to catch up to it, but Tylacto just taking his time, gets the pass in. Oh, beautiful play. Even with the defensive interference, you could see the intention, and they managed to get the execute. Tylacto just met this one on the wall, got the extra touch just to flick it out to Orion. Even with the slightly dubious circumstances of the defense, it goes all the way in, and that's just the power that Lancaster have as a team. They are so on it, and they can just tell what the other people want to do. They see those setups.
It was really good pass there from Tylacto, and Orion knows what he's like and just got himself in the right place. And yeah, you know, we saw the defense go for it, and they managed to get a touch, but it still wasn't enough to save it. Another goal there for Lancaster.
Just to rub salt in the wound, Lancaster not letting up at all. Again, Radaz just being bullied out of the defense, and Orion takes the open net. 6-2 in game one. Can they squeeze another one in 7 seconds? Difficult to tell, but the score, at least for this game, seems to have been finalised pretty early on, and that's going to be a Lancaster win, taking game one in the best of 7 in fairly convincing fashion, 6-2.
It's been a great pleasure to watch Lancaster play. They're a very solid team, you know, constant rotations and perfect positioning, and it's so hard, therefore, for Swansea to do anything. They did manage to get a couple of goals, but again, I think it's because Lancaster are very offensive. They don't mind slipping up occasionally. They just seem to be hammering shot after shot, keeping constant pressure, and the majority of them have just gone in.
And that's the thing, just you can't. What do you do with all that pressure? You can't really react, especially as we saw, you know, with Warwick. Swansea were most unable to kind of keep up the pace once Warwick started boost stealing and that kind of thing. So Swansea have been able to break down under that kind of pressure, and in their historical meetings, Swansea is 1 for 3 of their games. They won in their most recent matchup, but Lancaster has always taken a 3-1, 3-2 lead over Swansea in other meetings. CJ just getting bumped. Tylacto up to DMAC, not going to find it. Orion just puts the ball in the corner. Good read from Turtwig. touch again, but Tylacto going to intercept that, cause some havoc in the middle. Radha's on defense. There's the rotation in from Orion. Good tip up from Turtwig, but now they need to find something more concrete. DMAC going to put it over to one side, and that's more of the clear they were looking for. Orion back into the middle, trying to lay it down for Tylacto, but good call. Going to back off defensively. Swansea now looking to get something on the counter rotation. They've got 2 men up in the air. Radha's on the back in defense. DMAC looking to run hassle. I think just got bumped by Orion there, but still solid defensive work from both teams.
Looks like Tylacto's making a run for it now. Some nice pass into the middle, but well defended by CJ. And it was a very good takedown one side, managing to get it over 2 of the members of Swansea there, but they managed to reset in time. He wasn't able to get the perfect pass he wanted.
Oh, that would have been magnificent if it had come down off the ceiling exactly into Tylacto's waiting wheels. That's going to drop down off the backboard. There's the demo from DMAC on the way out, and Tylacto again to find the opener. Lancaster are a formidable opponent, right? Just with that roster, I think, Cooper. But right now, when they're clicking so well, especially against Swansea, you know, we have seen some really good stuff out of them in the previous series. That's hard, I think, mentally to kind of steel yourself against.
They are just absolutely dominant at the moment. It is really hard for Swansea to react, and that once again we got to see a perfect 3-man play there. A pass in from Orion, a shot from Tylacto, and a demo from DMAC, same as we got to see earlier. And it just completely shut down the Swansea defence. It looks like Tylacto's up for another one here.
Does get red, but DMAC for the follow-up, and that's the thing. Even if one attempt is shut down, they're almost always having a trailing man or someone rotating in off a boost steal or a pickup to try and put the extra pressure on or try and finish off the attempt. Good
nice
long
out
ball.
there.
Is anyone in the middle to finish it? Orion's going to get there first, and he is going to be able to sink that one. You can see Tylacto kind of waiting in the corner, wave dashing to try and find the boost. But Orion, from all the way in the back half, is going to beat CJ to the ball and sink it for a 2-0 lead. Not quite as much of a rapid explosion of goals as we saw in the first game, but still you can see Lancaster going to town on Swansea right now.
They've just been so good the entire time, and there's nothing more we can say about them really.
Yeah.
You just can't stop a team like this. It's going to be really hard for Swansea here, and it'd be very impressive for them if they do manage to take a game off Lancaster.
I would consider that a win for Swansea. If they could get a game off Lancaster, I would consider that a victory for them.
Yeah. With a team this good that knows what they've got, and I
Yeah.
think if they've been playing with Tylacto as well, they'll have read him more and more, and
Yeah.
you know, the skill of your teammates amplifies your own, definitely. So
Exactly, and I think that's really, you know, we can see Tylacto is definitely drawing Orion and DMAC up to his level. We've seen some beautiful stuff out of both of those guys, so it is really, it's not all about this one man. They are, as we said earlier, a whole 3-man team. We're seeing some great stuff from all of them, and Swansea just aren't really able to react to it right now. It is just another level, which they're not quite used to.
I think they did manage to play Lancaster again before. They've been mentioning how, though, Tylacto's been sort of in and out a bit. Maybe he was there, maybe he wasn't. Not sure what happened in that one, but maybe that little bit of confidence they had is now gone, and they know what they're up against.
I mean, that's a great return, though, from Turtwig. Going to be able to try and put some points on the board. There's Orion. Got red off that one, and Turtwig, just the bump onto Tylacto on the way out as well. From, I believe,
It looked like
CJ.
CJ there.
Yeah.
Yes. But it was really well done, and it was quite a fast shot anyway. I'm not sure if even Tylacto had a chance on that one, so.
Wow.
Nice out there from Turtwig, but Tylacto picking it up again and sending it back.
That's a beautiful shot on target. Rad is going to be able to clear it out. Wasn't quite there, just a little bit over. Now they have the chance, Swansea, on the counter offense. There's Turtwig, you can see him lurking. But already DMAX just down in the orange side, looking to put the pass in across to Tylacto. Great block from the orange defense. Beautiful attempt from the Blues, but it's not quite going to stick. Lancaster still with the 1-goal lead. 30 seconds thereabouts. As the attempt from Radders is going to get cleared by Orion.
It's very well defended from the orange team.
Oh, what a
But
Orion.
it looks like Orion's found himself another one.
Just the full, we've seen him run the full field so well. He just pops it over all the defense. Defense a bit scattered, and Orion picking up the slack to sink another one. Seal the fate of game number 2. Put it in Lancaster's favour.
It's been very dominant so far, but Turtwig finding another one there, not giving up yet.
Goodness me, that was quite the return.
Off the wall, he managed to get a double tap himself, and he just managed to get it over all the defenders. He was perfectly placed, and I think all of the Lancaster team there was stuck down at the bottom, and so therefore unable to respond. Not able to get the ball there, but does demo Talacto maybe making a chance. It's up in the middle for Swansea. Can he do something? No.
Orion with the no
got
boost.
it covered.
And it is going to touch down. Lancaster taking game number 2 as well. That was much more closely fought, I think it's fair to say, Cooper, than game number 1. Ending up with the 3-2
It looked
scoreline.
convincing. It looked convincing for Lancaster most of the way, but Swansea managing to get a good couple of attempts in near the end and putting the pressure on Lancaster. Maybe they'll be able to contend this after all and give us a really good game 3 here.
I think that's what we're kind of seeing. We said Swansea was quick off the bat last time. Maybe they're just having to adapt to this new play style they're going up against. Maybe we start to see them. They've been held to 2 goals every game so far, but is this the one we see them break out? That's the question we're asking of this team. Just checking the ping on DMAC. He seems to be all right. So we're not having any remakes. Just getting straight into game number 3. Lancaster currently 2-0 up in this best-of-7 series in the semi-finals of the NSE Winter Split. Although Radders off to a flying start, 4 seconds in to put one on the board for Swansea. That's the first time they've been the first team to score a goal in this series.
Managed to beat out Talacto really well in a 50-50 there and got it fast enough towards the goal that Orion just wasn't able to respond in time. And that takes them into the lead.
Someone's saying Talacto got balled by Radders. I mean, you know, that's testament to actually the quality of players on both teams. We're seeing some beautiful play out of every side here.
As we said before, it's not all about one man, and he is a very good player, but, you know, given the right position, given the right timing, he can be beat out by anyone. It's a nice attempt there from Orion, but CJ in the right place just to take it away. And Turtwig going to get another clear here. Trying to shut down as many opportunities from the Lancaster side as possible.
I think that's the thing for Swansea. If they can just limit the opportunities and just take those easy, cheap goals, although perhaps not cheap goals, but make the shots they're given, right? Because there are times where Lancaster is, if you'll excuse the pun, dropping the ball a little bit in favour of Swansea. So if they can just secure those ones, then it's still a very viable win for them here in Game 3. Oh, look at that! Ping-ponging off the woodwork, although the save from DMAC right at the last second.
Oh, that's really got a sting. It was a great attempt.
And then the return,
straight back
DMAC,
again.
MVP of that play right there. Saved it, bouncing up and down. Talacto with a beautiful pass, and then DMAC sinks it at 153 kilometers an hour. There is no stopping that once it's been let loose.
Managing to tie it up with a minute and a half gone, and that chance that Swansea had was so close, and that's going to be absolutely heartbreaking, especially against a team this good.
Oh, the flip reset from Orion into Talacto. Oh god, that is just beautiful. Look at this. Orion with the flip reset. Gets cleared away by Radders, but Talacto immediately there, just to drop that one in nice and easy. Nothing fancy from him. But just a testament. Orion coming up huge in that one. That was good. And then just the whole team is clicking so well for Lancaster. Swansea, unfortunately, just haven't been able to find a break right here. Although, that might have been their break. There's their 2-goal threshold. Can they one-up it? Lancaster seems to be giving them more and more chances. Turtwig popping it up, Orion wasn't quite able to get there, and Radda's dunking it on down.
It's a beautiful, beautiful team play there, and they're starting to get into this a little more, starting to maybe read their opponents, and they're able to stop a lot more as well as take the chances they're given, so really enjoying seeing them attempt to shut down Lancaster here.
Lancaster
Like another attempt here.
taking their time.
Taken away. CJ's going to pick it up, going in for another attempt, but once again hit back. And Orion's going in on his own, not quite able to get there. Just a bit of pressure in the midfield here, putting it back and forwards. Tylacto's up in the air, he's trying something fancy. Can't get it past Radda's. Radda's just putting himself in the right place and stopping that one.
Good pass across from Radda's to Turtwig. Isn't quite going to be able to get there. Tylacto with the pinch off the wall is going to get bounced straight back. As Turtwig just running a little bit of interference. DMAC, oh, he's up. Doesn't quite have the control on the end. Would have been a nice little air dribble in. Tylacto there running in the block. DMAC just hassling in the corner. Doesn't have any boost. Boost management kind of becoming a little bit of an issue for both teams here. Has the bump from Tylacto to shut that one down. Turtwig gets the read, drops it right in front of the blue net. Double commit is just going to save the day, as the scoreline is held fairly square at 2-2. Tylacto to roll to one side is going to get challenged fairly convincingly by Turtwig. Radda's up in the air with his lurid disco car. As that one gets launched by DMAC all the way over. Tylacto to stall it. And that is getting pushed back on the defense. Orion to clear it out. Can he get something onto the backboard here? Can DMAC looking to follow? Does get pinched away. Tylacto, last man back on D, has to rotate, get the challenge, allow Orion the time to sit in the net.
Radda's has been on a lot of these attempts, just shutting them down and stopping them in the correct place, and I'm definitely rooting for him, not only because of them being the underdogs, but he has the best car, and I absolutely love those wheels.
It's a huge bounce up from CJ. Trying to put it forward, doesn't get the connection. Radda's gets it over one. Doesn't really have the boost to stick with this. Has to hope for the 50-50 against Tylacto. And now, oh, it's just waiting to be kind of taken in front of the blue net. Turtwig doing all the work, but his teammates backed off. No boost. Drop down to Tylacto from Orion. Doesn't get the connection. Just perhaps a slight mishap there. DMAC. This could be the overtime of the series, though. Oh, CJ looking for the backwards little doink in. And now either team looking to find something. Last 30 seconds. About to draw to a close. Orion off the roof. Some beautiful aerial play from him. We've already seen the flip reset, the roof play as well. I'm really, really liking his aerial confidence here. Radda's with the flick, just rolls it off to one side. Turtwig blocked up by Orion. 10 seconds. That could have been the chance for Swansea to secure game number 3. Give themselves a little bit of breathing room in the series. No one following that one up from the blue team. Lancaster just going to stall it out in their own corner. Tylacto to clear. Is Orion going to be able to get on the end of this? Keep it up. DMAC just running underneath him. Oh, Lancaster looking to get cheeky with this one. No buzzer beater just yet. Ball still up. Both teams kind of running low on boost. Is getting pinched way out, and that is going to drop down. Overtime in game number 3.
We're looking at a bit of a reversal to what Swansea managed to do to Warwick here. Precisely as I said it, managing to get an early goal on for the leading team, putting them, you know, one game away from the victory in the series, but they've suddenly become a lot. It's suddenly become a lot closer, and hopefully Swansea can follow suit a bit and take the next couple of games here.
Well, that was. I looked away for 1 second and I just heard the goal sound. Lancaster. 3 seconds into the overtime, off the pinch kickoff goal. That's got to sting if you're Swansea, but what can you do against that? Lancaster are just looking so dominant. They are one game away from a very clean 4-0 rather. Although both game 3 and game 2 go to the same scoreline. Again, Swansea just can't seem to break that 2-goal barrier. That would be their thing to look out for in game number 4. Try and secure more than 2 goals, but it's tough. It's a tough life against Lancaster right now.
Such a dominant team, and they just can't really afford to make the mistakes. Some of them maybe the mistakes they did against Warwick. But again, hopefully they can do what Warwick did to them and take the next couple games after shaking up the currently winning team.
Let's see. Are we going to see a big reverse like we saw from Warwick, or are Swansea just going to be floundering? That's a good save from Tylacto, but not quite good enough. Just dropped it in the wrong area, really. Could have let that go off the post. And that is going to be the goal scored by CJ.
Feel like maybe Orion was the one to take that rather than Tylacto, but CJ managing to make the most of the opportunity and put Swansea ahead again at the start of this game very quickly.
Big demo onto Orion. Ball already bouncing right in front of the orange net. And that's just the power of Lancaster. Even if they're losing men, they're still creating chances, still getting the ball in aggressive attacking positions. DMAC having to fall back. That's him and Tylacto working the ball out on defense. What a great little pop-up. Tylacto just taking his time. Launches it onto the open net. Orion for the steal. The style points, the stat pads.
It's very nicely done by Orion, to be fair. And while there wasn't much chance of the defenders getting there, it just adds
a little bit of flair.
Maybe a little bit of BM. A little bit of flair, yeah.
The psychological game clearly being rocked by Lancaster here. As Orion just kind of sends that one to nowhere. Lacto meeting it on the wall. CJ trying to interfere. Orion just getting a little caught up on himself. Manages to get the boost as well. That's big. Doesn't quite get the corner boost though. It's going to go to Turtwig. But boost management for Lancaster seeming to be better.
It's a good attempt there from Swansea, but Tylacto's again in the correct place and just shutting down that attempt. It looks like they have another one here, but it's Tylacto again, constantly on the defense, but 3 in a row. He's just stopping every attempt currently. Does not want them to take a game off them here.
I think you can see Tylacto is perhaps slightly more comfortable with these coming off the goalpost walls clears. You can see Orion and DMAC a little bit happier on the floor, but obviously all of them kind of very capable players. Swansea still not really finding their 2-goal threshold just yet. Orion looking to stall it in the middle. Pass it to DMAC. Can Tylacto find the finish? It's almost there. The 3-man work. Now CJ. Can he set something up? Gets the touch over the top onto the bar. And it is going to be sank. Sunk by Turtwig.
It's just really well done, and the aerial control from CJ put it in the perfect position, and Turtwig was able to pop it up above the defender. That puts Swansea back in the lead, but again, they're now sitting on their 2 goals. So whether or not they can do anything about it, or need to do anything about it.
I think we're seeing this is the second time that Lancaster have been trailing, but when you look at the rest of the end results, that doesn't seem to matter to them too much. They can play from a losing position and still come out pretty happy.
I think that may be the key difference here. It looked like in the Warwick match, maybe Swansea got a little shook up after their opponents suddenly turned on them, but same thing happened to Lancaster here, but they still seem to be pretty solid, although that's another one for Turtwig, quite a high one. And the Lancaster defenders not quite able to get that.
Not quite sure what happened there. I think it was just slight misplay by everyone involved.
It looked like Tylacto may have had a flip instead of being able to go for the extra aerial he wanted, but
well, I think that's the kind of the key difference in this game, right? Is with Swansea and Warwick. Swansea were kind of shaken up after Warwick pulled something big, although that was a huge set of saves. Whereas they kind of knew versus Lancaster from the off what they were going up against, so maybe they were able to kind of make their peace with that more easily, in a way.
Yeah, maybe so. But it looks like they got a decent lead here, although Tylacto is going to try to put it in the middle. Radda's managing to get a long clear here, putting it back over the other side for Swansea.
Oh, it's on the post. Tylacto with a great touch to farm that one out. Although, another strong attacking attempt from Swansea. Now we're starting to see them come to life a little bit more. Had a bit of a rocky start in the first 3 games. And now they are the Warwick from last series, quite literally. As they are starting to put up some serious goals and attempts here.
We might be able to see a bit of an attempt at a reverse sweep anyway. Take a couple games off them. Extend this series even better, because with the quality of play, you just don't want to stop watching, really.
I mean, that was the thing we said. If we could see Swansea take a game off Lancaster, I think I would consider that a win for them. I don't know about you, Cooper, but that'd be pretty monumental for them. If they could take several, that would be a prime for Swansea, really, as both a confidence booster and a proof of their skill. Lancaster,
maybe so. I think early on it was definitely looking like Lancaster had the edge and looking pretty dominant for them. Although now Swansea are starting to get it back, it's looking more and more realistic.
Oh, open net here,
and more
4-1.
possible.
I think we might see Swansea take a game off Lancaster here.
I think it's more than likely going to happen, and I definitely think they can go further with this. They've obviously started to read Lancaster, and Lancaster making too many mistakes in this game, to be perfectly honest. Maybe they'll be able to calm down and get it back again for the next one, but it's looking like this one's going to go the way of...
Oh, I believe my my Rocket League has just crashed.
Oh dear.
My apologies, folks. I will try and get back in game as soon as possible.
I've got 20 seconds left here anyway, and...
Score 4-1, I believe.
Indeed, and Lancaster are still putting up attempts, but Tylacto's just managed to get another one, outdoing the 2 defenders, putting it to 2-4 instead. Trying to close it a little bit.
We're doing the radio broadcast.
We got a spam for clip that chat, just as the stream has gone down, so... But never mind, that's a nice attempt there from Tylacto, managing to take it past them. But it's still... There's only a few seconds left now. You just managed to get back in. Oh,
just back in time for the end. Apologies, folks. We made it back for the end. Tylacto, well, you heard it from Cooper on the radio. Swansea able to take one as they go.
Nice. It was nicely done from them and well positioned. Tylacto did try and bring it back, but with that much of a deficit and not much time, it's highly unlikely you're going to get anything.
Yeah, that is a tough break for Lancaster. They had a lot of time at the start, didn't really seem to do much with it, and then kind of it caught up to them right towards the end. Going into Game 5, though, they still hold the match point over Swansea, so we could very much see a kind of huge turnaround in pace, a breakneck start, and them just holding Swansea all game. All that still to come as we wait for Tylacto to get himself in gear.
That's always the thing, though. When you've had such a dominant start, you can sit on the match point, and even if you make some mistakes, you only need one poor performance from the enemy team, and you've got it. Even if they've started to turn, even if they've now seemed like the more dominant team, if they mess up, they're instantly dead. They don't have another life.
Well, this is do or die time for Swansea now. They are facing elimination, or the 3rd place playoff here, as Lancaster looks to move forward to the grand finals in Nottingham at the Alt Gaming Lounge.
Indeed. In fact, my home university, so I will definitely be wandering along to try and watch, and I may be involved in that myself, so we'll see.
Well, I mean, it's home turf for you, Cooper. You should be all over it.
Yeah, indeed.
So I'll change the screen. My mistake, folks. We will be changing over to the actual Rocket League.
Always some technical issues, but it's pretty slow play here at the start. Nothing has quite happened yet, although Lancaster managing to get a double demo, but not following it up. Ryan with a chance. Nicely blocked. 3 demos very quickly in the game here. Seems like the players are getting maybe a little more aggressive.
Well, you can kind of feel that intensity now. They know it's do or die time. All the stops are out. If it's demos, if it's physical play, whatever it is. Tylacto, the fake, the flick over one. What was he trying to go for there? I'm not sure. Looked fancy. Orion just tipping it towards his own net. DMAC with a clear away. Good recovery there from Lancaster after a slightly questionable set of plays.
Indeed, and you know, DMAC just put himself in the right place, and it was very close, but maybe not so much if you know you've got a solid keeper. But for now, it seems to be staying in a Lancaster half, and Swansea are pushing this, trying to make more and more attempts. Not quite able to find that one, Tylacto puts it back over again.
That's a beautiful shot from Orion. Isn't quite going to find anything. Tylacto just going to pop it up for him. Doesn't quite find the angle to take it on. DMAC just lurking in the midfield, waiting for his opportunity to strike. There it is, over to Tylacto, off the backboard. Orion was up in the air for the pre-jump. Didn't quite find it. Tylacto, great challenge though in the midfield. Orion looking to do the same thing. Gets beat by CJ. Radders to move it on. Tylacto for the counter. Turtwig to DMAC. Now we're starting to see the back and forth that so often occurs in the middle of the games with two evenly matched teams. Neither team really making super good headway, although DMAC over one into the far corner.
It's a bit of a mistake there from CJ, I'm afraid. He ran straight and bounced into the floor, not able to get the ground pinch he wanted, and DMAC was in the right place to punish him for it.
I mean, that is the opener right there that Lancaster were looking for. If they can get that just before half-time, get some confidence. DMAC again, already looking to set up the offense. Orion just looking to throw caution to the wind, get in the mix. Now Tylacto puts it back on net. Is there any follow-up from his teammates? CJ, prime position to get in the way of that. Orion, great block. And now we're starting to see, since Lancaster are in the orange half so much, they're starting to get the boost steals as well. So we might start to see some desperation for Swansea as they are running out of resource.
It's been well played from both teams, but it feels like Lancaster have got the edge back here. They were definitely maybe a little more shaky last game, but they still had solid plays, and this game they're just constantly turning stuff away, as we saw that again there by Tylacto, and they managed to take the one opportunity they really needed.
And again, just so much pressure from Lancaster right now. It is really, really tough. We've only really seen a couple of opportunities for Swansea, full stop, let alone actual shots on net. If we take a look at our stats, 2 shots for Swansea to the 4 of Lancaster. That is a testament to just how much is going on defensively for the Lancaster side.
They're definitely looking for another play, but DMAC managing to take it out. Tylacto to follow it up, and DMAC's up, putting it, not quite getting it into the middle, I'm afraid. It's a beautiful shot there from Radders. Self-control and flick over into the middle. Brings an equaliser with only a minute left for his team.
Well, that is what you call stepping up to the plate. Radders able to wangle one in. Can Swansea make this happen? They're still match point to Lancaster. You get the feeling Lancaster going a little bit slower now than perhaps they were at the start of the series. Here's their chance though, as DMAC gets all the work done. Orion just a little bit late on the uptake. Now Tylacto has to save this one over the top of his head. Does get the control off. Very nice. Beats one. Can he get a little bit of help? He can. DMAC coming in over the top. Turtwig to leave that one to CJ. As Orion over the top.
It's a solid clear there from Lancaster, and I think you're right about the speed. Maybe they were being a little too confident at the beginning. They played a lot faster and a lot more aggressive. Maybe purely not afraid of the risk factor, just wanting to try stuff out and, you know, maybe scare the Swansea side a little more than actually harm them.
Well, now they are
seem to be working now.
Yeah,
nowadays.
I mean, they're looking to send this one to bed, and that is just seems to, we see a bit of a slowdown in pace. CJ just stalling out so well, playing for time. Can DMAC get it up? He has. He's got it on the backboard. It just dips down off the crossbar, and we are going to have an overtime here in game number 5. Tylacto.
It was a great attempt there by DMAC, but not quite able to find it. Great save from Radders coming in from the corner. It's coming back into the Lancaster half, looking dangerous.
But look at that defensive rotation. Tylacto and DMAC just working so well between them to call out who's got what, who's taking the boost. I mean, this is really most impressive from Lancaster right here. Although to their credit, Swansea have in fact kind of shaped up in the last game or so. They are really looking much more dangerous than they were 2-3 games ago. Oh, this is not good.
Nice attempt there for Turtwig, and he manages to put it down, taking his second game. Swansea really looking to fight back against this incredible team that Lancaster have put against them.
Well, Lancaster really starting to feel the heat. This could be the reverse sweep, man.
It's always great to see the losing team get a good handle on things, but I feel like it could go exactly the same way, giving Swansea 2 games, but now they're about to be taken again the same way as it was last time. That's my prediction for the moment.
Well, I think that's a very fair prediction. I'm happily on board with that. Let's see if the prediction comes true.
Definitely not against a reverse sweep, though. Those are always fun.
Nah, we'll see. We'll see what plans. We'll see what plans. Just checking that everything's alright on the stream. Is everything all good? We're good. Okay. Cool. Well, game number 6 now, as Swansea have managed to wrangle it back from the depths on the match point. Can Radders send this one in? Not quite. CJ there for the follow-up, sends it high. Unfortunately going to put Turtwig in a bit of an awkward spot. Can't really get a concise read on that.
It's a bit of starting pressure already, getting some shots in, worrying the other team from both sides. But it's just good defense on both halves, and it's heading back over towards the blue goal. That's a very good save from Tylacto just off the crossbar.
Actually, a slightly painful missed opportunity there from Swansea. That could have been a fairly easy opening goal. But now it is going to be Lancaster looking to make the push. The Radders with a great block. DMAC over the top. CJ having to pick up the slack for Turtwig there. As Tylacto want to control. Radders can't quite start the dribble play. That's what Lancaster have been really good at shutting down. Any individual plays, any solo flicks, anything like that, they've been really quick to challenge those, put a stop to those. Turtwig actually putting in the save. He's forgotten which side he's actually playing for here. As DMAC flicks it up, try and get a pass. Orion just taking his time. Radders is going to get a fairly strong touch to that.
Tylacto was back for that one though, and it looks like Lancaster are trying to keep it up in there, creating opportunities left and right here. But they may have to now switch back around to get their boost refueled. An unfortunate miss there from Tylacto, going for an interesting ground pinch that
Tylacto with these
picked up by
demos.
Swansea.
Oh, another one. That's going to open the way gate. And DMAC to finally find one. Tylacto with one, and then Orion just not quite off the respawn on Radders, but Radders obviously the smoke cloud and the respawn combined with the minimal boost you get from that. Really not in a good way to save that power shot from DMAC, and Lancaster are going to be taking the lead in this one with just 2 minutes gone.
It's just great all-round play, and they just managed to take it really well. And you know, sometimes that aggressive play works, and Orion's going for it again. Maybe getting a bit cheeky here. Not the best time for a demo, but again, taking people out. Good attempt by CJ, but Orion's got back and found himself in the right place.
Orion just trying to find that one up in the air, but now he is the last line of defense. Has to stall this one out, allow DMAC to get back, as well as Tylacto. There it is, DMAC's in the back. Tylacto safely in net, and Orion with a great clear. That's going all the way. Top corner, Orion. From
absolutely storming shot, that one.
Downtown. I mean, that is about as pixel perfect as you can get. Just sinks into the top corner there. Going to be putting Lancaster 2-0 in the lead. Just over 2 minutes to go. Can Swansea find it, or are they going to be the ones to fall in this semi-finals of the NSE Winter Split? Or Tylacto off the roof. Looking good, but doesn't quite find the angle he's looking for. Also ran out of boost a little bit early in the play. Good challenge from DMAC onto Orion. Turtwig, though, waiting in the wings. Doesn't quite get the touch. Now Tylacto's got some boost. He's refilled. DMAC going to turn away, though. Good call on the defense. Has to challenge this one. Very nice out to the side. Tylacto has to save. It's a good one. Coming up solid for his team.
It was a good attempt by Swansea. They're still trying to make the plays they were earlier, but Lancaster are all over it now. And it feels like the pace has changed back again into Lancaster's favour.
Yeah, we kind of saw the swings, the Swansea swings, but now Lancaster looking to put in a dominant performance. Tylacto just got faked out a little bit by that one. Turtwig. Oh, but Tylacto to recover and help out Orion, who was fairly heftily bumped there. Tylacto looking to dribble that one in the net. We'll trade it for the demo instead. He doesn't mind. Rada's off the respawn. Orion pops it up. DMAC coming up the side wall. 1 minute left now. Swansea really do have to find something big. They've been a little bit hampered in their own half. They need to find a breakout.
They were doing really well, but that's another attempt. Beautifully taken by Radis, though.
Oh,
and
beautiful.
another one for him. Yeah, Lancaster definitely have the pressure there. Radis in the right place, and that's another one for Tylacto.
He's going to sink those all day. No strain.
And it looks like, as I so beautifully predicted, that Lancaster are going to take this one, unfortunately. Very close, but it's never over. Swansea could pull a miracle here.
Well, it's going to be a pretty good one. That's almost 1 goal every 10 seconds, and right now they just don't seem like they're going to be able to do it. Orion being a bit of a one-man army in defense right now. Tylacto and DMAC just backing him up. There's DMAC just to control it. Oh, huge from Orion. Great stop. Look at them. They're just running interference, and even still, right at the very end, Swansea just can't find the goal. CJ
crying out in anguish. He's
saying no.
So upset.
He knows it's all over. Orion just stalling for time.
And there it is.
And that's going to let it drop. Lancaster take the 3-2. The 4-2. My apologies.
Yeah.
In the best of 7. They will be moving on to our grand finals, which will be played at LAN in Nottingham University. But Cooper, well,
not university, in town.
In town. My apologies. In town. But well, Cooper,
it's been fantastic to watch.
It's been a ride.
Very mixed bag of feelings. I'm so glad that Swansea managed to take a couple, especially after how dominant Lancaster came out in the original one. They were absolutely smashing them, but again, they just can't quite keep up. And having a pro on your side and being able to use him, it's just not really plausible for them to fight that.
Yeah. Well, I think they did admirably, all things considered. They did manage to get 2 games off them, which we said, that's a victory and a half for them, especially going up against a team like Lancaster. So Lancaster will be moving on to the grand final. Swansea will be in the 3rd place playoff, which will be taking place over on RW Dragon stream with RW Dragon and Mr. Croftman himself. So we will be hosting that stream. But Cooper, it's been a pleasure having you on, man. That is going to be it from us, though, folks. So any final words, Cooper?
Go and watch the 3rd place, because it's gonna be good regardless. So it's gonna be fantastic. We've seen great play from all the teams here, and you have to go and watch it. There's no not doing it now that you've already come.
Right, well, that is going to be it from us, folks. We're going to host RW Dragon, so you don't even have to go anywhere, but feel free to go and sit in his stream, watch the 3rd place playoffs, and we hope you had a good evening. That's going to be all from us, folks. See you next time.